is 6:10. And mainly what I was thinking this would just be to prioritize what order you want these in. Budget presentation that we normally get would be probably number one, unless I'm wrong. And I don't know if you want to bundle any others in with that or just let him do that and then we'll do the others one by one.
Sounds good.
Okay. So is there any priority, any that you want to jump ahead of everything else?
But I think the street light, we spend money for doing that, I'm going to see the result. Before, it's the same.
The street light?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Tom.
I just says, we are spending money right now for the street light and you want to resolve, you want to see that before and see how they go on that street light.
Were you okay with the way that they're bundled as public works, also with sidewalks and things, or did you want to move that up separately?
A good question. Sidewalk along with that.
And I look at it, they're both scheduled, telling us, okay, I spend this much money today, but they're constantly schedule it out. So I would say bundle all the public works together.
Okay. So the detail that I was asked for was a 5-year plan. Some said 1 to 3, 1 to 5. Exactly where it's going to go, what sidewalks. Tell me if I'm not understanding what I wrote down.
5-year plan would be great.
Okay. So a 5-year plan with what kind of detail?
All the detail.
All the
As
details.
much as-
So which sidewalks for which year?
Mhm.
And then as they're complete, we can get it in the monthly
API.
KPI. Thank you. Write that one down because that's not my normal language.
And if we don't understand, we can make a request to come back and explain to us more details and
Okay,
get the.
so
We want budget topics to kind of be lumped together. too.
well, that's what I'm wondering if we should. I don't know if we can do that much in one meeting. Maybe split it up.
We can just do it together, but do it 2 weeks apart. And
Do one and then 2 weeks later do the other. Capital expansion plan.
No, we could do it at the strategic plan meeting.
Mhm.
It's almost 4 hours to present it to us, so.
The budget presentation?
Yeah.
No,
It
we
feels
shortened
like 4
that up.
hours,
It feels like 4 hours.
but it's really only about an hour.
We can make it shorter than that. We can't cover all those other topics. That's a good point. Probably would be best to just start with the finance director presentation and take it from there.
do the presentation 1 week and then the other for the next week.
Do it. Yeah, because we have, so we could do it the first and second, or first and third financial of February, first week and third week. Or do you want it sooner than that?
Sooner is better.
So we're doing the code enforcement on the 31st. So it'd have to be next week
So the 7th and 14th, February.
or 7th and 21st. I was leaving a week in between, but if you don't need a week in between, 7th and 14th works.
7th and 14th for.
Wayne, is there
Budget?
anything that you need from on the timeline for budgeting that we need to?
No,
No,
let's
and-
see. There's none of these topics on here other than possibly the budget reduction proposals, which I don't know what that would entail. That would have any sort of urgency. As you all know, we adopt the tentative budget in May and we give you a tentative budget that's usually at least some sort of draft form in March. So we would really just need more idea, but I don't think there's really anything on there urgent. If we started in February, I think we'd be fine.
Okay, so should we do them a week apart or 2 weeks apart? And we can do the both budgetary in February.
I would do them a week apart, only because I'm selfish and I won't be here on the 21st.
There we go. I would have figured none of you men were gonna be here on the 14th. So, okay, so we'll do it on the 7th
What's on the
and the
14th?
14th. Nothing in my house, but maybe yours has a different standard. And then. So that one,
We,
so then the others, you want to do public works in March? That's the only one that looks even somewhat budgetary. The other two are like just discussions.
Dowdle. Just so it can get started if we decide to do it. And it's just a single presentation. It's like any other presentation. Probably ought to get it. In February.
We could, and there are a couple of these on here that we could make as just extra communication items. I don't think that would take any particularly long amount of time, so that would work for that one.
It's hard to know right now how long each of these is gonna take.
That's why I was just trying to do one a month.
And it might take more than a month to get through the budget topics, because I don't really know, right? It's hard for any of us to know. So instead of scheduling them in particular months, just place them in a particular order. And if something takes longer than we anticipated, then
I think we can-
it just takes longer for the next one to get there. And so,
I would still like to just set a schedule and then if we need more time, adjust it. But I'd like to know what we're doing each month so that it doesn't just kind of fall out the back of our brains and there's no real schedule. And things get missed. And the
But I
follow-up
think-
doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean,
the problem is we just don't know how long things are going to take
I think if we put them in
in
an
an order. And we,
and then
and
just
we,
check them off as we go through, I think it will,
We'll be all right.
I think.
and every month or twice a month, there's a agenda item for these topics.
And maybe if we
Just
can,
on the next topic, whenever that comes up.
if we.
I don't
can-
think it'll get lost if we do that.
Well, if we can put this on our study meeting agenda with check mark, that, we can see the ones that we've completed. right
I'll
now
have
on
it at the
agenda.
bottom of the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this document's done well, so we can do that. Okay, so then let's just put the second one, then Public Works. And then these two are mainly reporting. Don's as a budgetary. So we could do that one third. The puzzle. And then let's just go parks and then development and then fit in the others as they need them.
Yeah, you could just decide as you're advancing along the calendar.
We're gonna probably end up wanting to move the evaluation form and the employee manual up. Because we're also gonna have study on manager contract. So those would be kind of, it would be good to have those closer to that discussion than clear in July or August.
Agreed.
So maybe move them to third or
Could move them to second. Because if we're gonna get,
over Public Works.
we're gonna get to budget
Okay,
in February, then we would want the evaluation and the employee manual right after that. Because we're still gonna have to have time somewhere in there to go over contract with an attorney and those things, so.
yeah, and I figure most of those will be closed sessions after our meetings, between our meetings.
Long days, so.
Yeah. So those will come as is,
And then maybe after we get that all done, then we'll just,
just hit all these others that are just.
Yeah.
Yeah, because archiving the stuff over at the cultural center. The long-term rentals. Okay, so if we do budgetary items first, and then the evaluation, employee manual, and the contract second, public works third, parks fourth, development issues on 35th and Redwood fifth.
Then just the other items.
Yeah, and then these, they can fit in where we need to. So there's one more today that I was made aware of that might be a future potential agenda item, which is the possibility of investors coming in and building an entire subdivision, single-family homes that are only for rent. It's the new thing. And I don't know if you want that or not.
Sounds like a hotel.
Single-family homes with real lots, backyards, front yards, side yards. You can store your boat on your own property, but it's all rental. Yep,
So
It's the
there's
new-
one company that manages the entire subdivision.
it's just one big investor that comes in, builds a subdivision and rents it all out. And it's never for ownership. Kind of like the townhomes are no longer ownership, they're rentals only, basically. And whether or not we're comfortable with that in those two fields. Townhomes and single-family homes.
I'm not good.
We could talk about it.
Yeah, that's just another future agenda item. Not a strategic plan one. Okay. Somebody wrote all that down.
Nicole, you got that listed or?
Yes,
you-
yes, Mayor, I have that, and I will send you a copy, just to make sure that it's what you had in mind.
Slides were fine. Okay. All right, any other issues on this one? Let's go back to the other screen. I think that's it for us for, screen doesn't work. Okay, council reports. Pretty quiet weekend. The gymnastics was fun. So that's a good
Daughter
event.
said.
Yeah, and Kevin says he's got a lot more coming in, so, and looking at us. So I wish as many people had shown up to Saturday night that showed up Friday, but is life.
Well, I bet they had more than they had on the one Salt Lake Stars game I went to.
I don't know, it was pretty, maybe.
Well, I've seen bigger crowds at a high school game.
Yeah, and I think the Stars are actually fun to watch.
They are.
So I don't know what we need to do as what the Maverick Center needs to do to advertise it better.
Stars game I went to recently had 1,107.
Oh, that's good.
It's a few
But it
more
didn't
than a
look
base-
bad.
than a basketball.
Yeah,
High school game.
I thought they were
My
like,
daughter actually works down there at concessions. She said, when I went to, worse than any of the others.
oh, really? Must have been something bigger in town,
Yes.
because I don't think it's that expensive to go, so. I don't know. Okay, so we do have a need for a special session.
I'd like to make a motion that we have a closed session to discuss pending or possible litigation and professional competency.
Second,
Nicole, this is a roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umwana.
Aye.
Councilman Whitstone,
Yes.
Councilman Harmon, Councilman Hune,
right,
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt, and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, we'll meet in a closed session for those two items, and then when we adjourn from that, we will just adjourn from our study session.
John Flores. I will set up a link for the recorded portion of the pending litigation and send that to you.